Good morning students. Welcome to the science class. Today we have study about lesson number 11, nature of matter. We see several materials, objects in our daily life and we use a few of them. These materials are also called matter. These materials are not just like one another, but if you observe neatly, the characteristics of some materials appear similar. Everyone is eager to know what are the constituents of these materials. What are the common characteristics of these materials? Anything which we can see our surroundings, they are called a matter. All the things which can see in our surroundings, they are called a matter. We see lots of different materials. They are not the same like a table, chair, pen, bucket, bag. They are not just like one another. If we see in details, some materials of the characteristics are similar. Like what are the common characteristics of these materials? What are the common characteristics of these materials? Means what are the materials are made up of? So let us learn in this lesson. Understand about matter. Means what do you mean by matter? Explain the characteristics of matter. Identify different states of matter. Understand the types of change in states of matter. Understand about mass, density, pressure, sublimation and buoyancy. We see so many things and materials in our surroundings and we use these materials in our daily life. These materials are called a matter. In our daily life, we see objects in different forms like pen, pencil, cap, book, wood, dice, clip, comb, grass, stone, flower and plate. All these are the different forms of material. Activity. List out the names of the materials you have collected by arranging them neatly. There are so many materials which you have collected like a pencil, wood, clip, pen cap, book, stone, ink pot, dice, flower, grass, plate, comb and a bowl. Okay, so you write in this activity. Observe whether the objects you have collected are as follows. If yes, you put a right mark and if no, you put a wrong mark. So students, listen one by one. Have you brought any hard material in these pictures? Yes, we have brought a hard materials. For example, stone, wood, all these and pencil is a hard material. Is there any soft material? Yes, here flower, grass are a soft material. Is there any material which could be stored in a bottle or a ball? Yes, ink pot. Ink inside the pot we can store. Yes, that is a correct. Is there any brittle material? Brittle means breakable material. Yes, ink pot is a hard material but it is easily breakable. Next, is there any material which can be dissolved in water? No. Here no any material which can be dissolved in water. Next is there any material which turn into manure after mixing with the soil? Yes, here like flower, grass and wood. These are turns into a manure after mixing with soil. So from the above activity you can understand that materials are in different forms in their different shapes, colors, brightness, solubility. Means from the above activity we can say that materials are in different forms and they have a different shape, different color, brightness and their solubility. Okay students? Next, matter, object. How are the materials available in nature created? How are the materials available in nature created? There are two types of materials which are available in the nature. One is natural and a man-made. Natural means like plants, trees, animals, soil, all these are a natural. Man-made like a pen, bag, books, all these are called a man-made material. So here one experiment is given. Listen students, take some chalk powder and dip your finger in it and sprinkle slowly over a plain glass. Observe these minute pieces carefully through a convex lens. Can these minute pieces be divided further? Think and try. So students, here he says that you take a chalk powder and dip your finger in a chalk powder and slowly sprinkled a plain glass and observe carefully in a convex lens. Can these minute means very small pieces which you cannot see in a naked eyes, you can see in a convex lens, these pieces be divided further? It is possible or it is not possible? That student says it is not possible. Why it is not possible? Because it is not possible for us to divide them further because it is already very minute particle. So we can observe that the finest piece of chalk can be divided further through though we try to do so. Think, read the instance given below and try to remember if you have experienced any. How did fragrant particles reach your nose from the open scent bottle? When you open a scent bottle, a very nice smell is come. You know that students. When you use a perfume bottle, when you open, a very nice smell is come. Next is, how did your nose feel that the neighboring room in is being swept? When how did your nose feel that neighboring room is being swept means cleaning? Did you notice any collection of dark particle when firewood is burnt or kerosene lamp is lit? So students, material which is made up of small particles are called a matter. So because the particles which are present in a matter are invisible, you cannot see. Matter is made up of minute particles. For example, here says fragrant particles. Fragrant particles you cannot see, they are invisible. Okay, so they are a minute particles. Hence, visible matter consists of invisible particles. So, what do you mean by matter? Materials which is made up of small particles or a minute particles are called a matter. Next is properties of matter. Matter have a special properties. These properties can be understood with the help of some experiments and activities. You know that students, matter occupy the space. You can see in your surroundings, suppose a book kept on the table. If kept another book, pen, pencil on the table at the same place in the same position. So here we doing one activity. First property is matter occupy the space. How matter occupy the space? Students, listen that activity. Pour the wheat flour or any other flour into a bowl from a box. Again, try to fill the bowl so that flour does not spills. Was it possible? Pour the wheat flour or any other flour into a bowl from a box. Again, try to fill the bowl so that the flour does not spills. So students, here you take a wheat flour and take a one bowl and fill a bowl with the wheat flour so that the flour does not spills. Was it possible? No, it is not possible. Did you completely fill the bowl? Yes, we can completely fill the bowl with the wheat flour. What should be done to pour some more flour into the bowl and why? If we put a more flour into the bowl, it spills out. Okay, now it was impossible to fill the bowl completely with the entire quantity of the flour present in the box. Yes, we can completely fill the bowl with the wheat flour. So next what we can do, we take another bowl and fill the bowl with the wheat flour. In this activity we can say that matter occupy the space, that wheat flour is a matter and it occupy the space. Next experiment is, put a glass beaker completely filled with water on a plate. Slowly immerse a stone of appropriate size tied with a thread into the beaker as shown in the picture. So students, here what he is saying in this experiment, you take a glass beaker which is completely filled with water and put on a plate, means keep on a plate. Immerse a stone, you take a one stone and tied with a thread and slowly put into the beaker. Some water in the beaker that flow out and collect in the plate. So what happened when the stone is immersed in a beaker? That some water in a beaker that flow out and collects in a plate. It means we can say that that stone is a weight and it, when you put into the beaker, it occupy the space. So why did water spills out? Because that stone is a weight and when it put into the beaker, it take a shape, it occupy the space, so water spills out. Why it is so? Think and explain to your friend. Means matter occupy the space. A matter cannot occupy the place of another at the same time. Next, matter is anything which occupy the space and has weight is called a matter. Scientifically, materials are called a matter. Matter is made up of small particles. The smallest piece of matter is called a particle. The characteristics of matter is matter occupy the space and has a weight. The milk which occupy the space inside the glass. A block occupies space on the table. You might have seen many things around you. things like a table, pen, books, play materials, and many other things are made up of matter. The word material relates to matter. When you look around, you can observe that all matter occupy the space. You may not see air, but its presence can be felt. So it is also called a matter. Air is also called a matter. It has a mass and it also occupies the space. How can you demonstrate that air also occupies the space? Let us do one experiment. You do that experiment in a last lesson air chapter also, students. So once again you listen that experiment. Two balloons. You take a two balloons, red and blue color, different color two balloons you have take of equal size having the same amount of air atoms are tied to both ends of the beam balance. Means you take a two balloons of the same size and inflate them more or less to the same extent. Use a piece of thread to tie the mouth of the balloon. Use equal length of the thread to tie each balloon to the end of the stick or a beam. And you use a sketch pen and carefully mark or one balloon as a and another balloon as a B, and tie a piece of thread about 15 to 20 centimeter long in the middle of the stick, okay, in a common balance. Now if blue balloon is defelted, then the side of beam balance with a red balloon way down. Means you see that the two balloons do not touch any object around them. Now adjust the position of the middle thread on the stick so that one balloon perfectly balances the other. That is, the stick is perfectly horizontal, and use a sharp pin or a needle and to puncture any one balloon. Suppose you punctured a blue balloon, okay students. When you punctured a blue balloon, so that it breaks, means it blast, okay. Now after, the red balloon containing air atoms in it have more mass, means it has a weight. The blue balloon, then the blue balloon, okay. Thus it proves that air has a mass, means that red balloon has a weight. The space occupied by the defelted blue balloon is less than the red balloon. Thus it proves air occupy the space, means the two air-filled balloons balanced each other. The balloon with air in it drop down as the mass is not balanced equally, means the red balloon goes downwards as it has a greater mass due to the presence of air in it. This shows that air has a mass and it occupies the space. Next is, matter is made up of various visible and invisible particles. Means matter is a visible and invisible particles. In a last activity we say that a fragrance particles, means a scent bottle when you opened, you have not seen that particles, but you feel that smell of the perfume. So, okay students, now second property is matter has a mass. Activity, take a weighing balance and note down the position of the needle. Listen once again students. Take a weighing balance and note down the position of its needle and write here. Take a weighing balance and note down the position of its needle. You can see here students, that is a weighing balance. Here that the position of the needle is in the center. Next picture, Put a material of 50 gram. You take a 50 gram of any material and keep in one pan and note down the position of the needle. That needle is bent towards the weight where we put a material of a 50 gram of material on a one pan. In that side, that needle is bent. So students, you do all these activities in your homework notebook and learn the lesson carefully and write all these activities neatly and draw the diagrams in your homework notebook. We continue that lesson in the next video. So take care students, stay home, stay safe. Thank you students.